Hello, hello, hello. What's up, yeah, Joe? The caffeine. Alright, so I'm actually liking my background being dark like this. Yeah, I just like my shit way better. And I think I'm gonna stick with it until I fucking move out. Now, like, the only bad thing is, like, obviously, like, because I don't have that much light on my face, like, it looks kind of weird at the moment. And also, like, I do have, like, a noise reduction filter, so if I turn off the noise reduction, it kind of looks like this, right? It looks all grainy as fuck, but if I have it on, then it looks like I have a beauty filter on to smooth out the face and the wrinkles and all the other shit, but yeah, that's what's going on. But yeah, I'm actually liking this. When I move out, I'm gonna figure out a way to, like, actually maybe stick to this format because it looks cool. Also, I don't have to worry about lighting the background, none of that shit. Just fuck it. Keep it all simple. Besides, I'm in front of fucking like 4 monitors, so I have enough light in front of me, so yeah, that's how I see it. I can use my monitors as my fill light. I need to get back to the routine of making tutorials, and that's basically what I'm gonna be doing more often. I started to mess around more with AI. Obviously, AI is not going anywhere. It's definitely like controversial for some people and all that stuff, right? But so far I'm liking it a lot, at least for the way how I use it, right? So in this tech news, I used AI for the first time, and like the way I used it was mainly for one, like creating an image of his face, and also like removing background and stuff like that. And I want to talk to you about how I did that using the software that I did. Now, just to get out of the way, a lot of the shit I'm gonna show you, you are able to use, say, like Photoshop if you want. I'm at a point I don't like Photoshop. I just cannot get into it. I just honestly don't like it. I don't know, it's just not my thing. For the most part, when I try to do like any type of like image, like manipulation, correction, or whatever, I always go to like After Effects because it's basically the same thing just for video, right? And like I just export the image from After Effects to Premiere Pro, right? But yeah, I don't really like using Photoshop. Another thing is that I am planning down the line to get the fuck away from Adobe, so if I can figure out a way to like work without using Adobe stuff, like in the case they like Photoshop, then that's where I'm heading at, right? Also, another thing, I am like this AI tools that I'm starting to using, it's a web browser based subscription. You can remove backgrounds, you can stabilize footage. You know, this thing has a lot of cool AI features for video editors like myself that you can play with, right? And I've been messing around with it, and so far I'm really liking everything that it has to offer, right? Because it helps me save time, and that's like the main thing I want to use AI for, is mainly like the time-saving features, right? Each one of these thumbnails that you see is actually a tool that this app has to offer, right? This is called Runway. I've been bringing this up a lot lately because I've been using it a lot, and yeah, this is a tool I've been using to create AI images from, right? And I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. Also, another thing I do like about this Runway AI technology is that you are able to upscale images, right? There's something that Paul has brought up in the past with his videos is that like sometimes like finding certain images are usually at a low resolution, and it's kind of hard to find like a high value image, right? That kind of fits his 4K image format, his video format, right? So when I upscale a low resolution image, obviously it comes out blurry, but there's nothing I can do because that's all I can find, right? This guy, you are able to upscale images, and it does a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job. And I'm gonna show you what I did, right? Since I already uploaded Paul's like a portrait of his face, I trained my AI to recognize Paul's features, right? I took a bunch of like screenshots of his face, like at different like angles, so I can like able to produce his face using AI technology, right? So what you're able to do is, say if I go out to my AI tools, right? We have this tool, it says text to image, generate original images with nothing but words. So I click that, minimize my face here. So yeah, let's just redo that. Let's just say, I don't know, pissed off angry man or something. Let's just say default, just to show you what happens. And you can say 1080p, you can square, and then like I hit generate. So this is basically AI using nothing but like text information, right? Actually, that's kind of creepy. Oh, that is fucking creepy. Actually, I'm saving this. I like it. Save to assets. Oh, that's another thing where it says save to assets. Basically, what this does is that you have something called assets, which was basically almost like cloud storage, right? It saves your assets that you upload. So what is your images, your video, you can store it here in the cloud storage, right? Now, depending on like the subscription plan that you have a certain amount of cloud storage that you're able to like have, right? Now I got the pro version, and it gives you 500 gigabytes of assets. Well, what that means is basically 500 gigabytes of like cloud storage. I don't know why they just didn't name it like that. They're just trying to make it seem like you're getting more out of your money, but it's basically when it says assets, that just meaning that you're able to upload 500 gigabytes of cloud storage stuff, right? That's how much you're able to upload to your cloud storage with this software. Meaning like your images, your video, or in this case, like it just created like an image, you can save it to your assets and it stays there, right? You have to keep up on making sure you clear up your storage, your cloud storage, so you don't fill up your asset storage space, right? But again, they do have a free version and you can mess with it if you want to try it out. So yeah, save this. So it's cool. But now, say like if I want to use pause image, I can actually go down here and it says pause portrait, and it's gonna use pause information, his face, right? So now I can hit generate. It's gonna use the same like description that I used, but in this case it's gonna use pause, facial features. Let's see what happens. All right, I already talked to Paul, and like, yeah, I'm gonna actually ask him to like give me some more portraits of his face, because I used too much screenshots of his background, and you can see like the foam padding and stuff like that. So I need to get more visual information from him. But anyways, now you can do something else, some more advanced stuff. You have an advanced option here, right? You can click on that, and basically now you can actually be more, I don't know, say like anime. You have more styles you can choose from, right? So far, what seems to work for me is, let's say pop art, medium. Let's just say you want it to be more, let's just say illustration, right? And then in the mood, obviously you want Paul to be angry, so you go angry. This thing is kind of interesting, the slide. The further left you go, the more fantasy image quality you're gonna get. If you go more towards the right, it's gonna be more realistic or something like that. So I don't know, let's just go in the between, just see what happens. And I'm still using like the same like description here for pause image to see what happens. And that's the thing about using AI, you have to like do a few clicks to see what happens to find something you like. All right, this is really cool actually. So yeah, see, like, but messing around with like the advanced features, that you get something more interesting. And then like, as you start fucking around with this thing, I guess you can see what works for you, stuff like that. So far, like, obviously I'm more into like the whole visual cartoon kind of look, so I'm going to more of like an illustration, pop art, comic book, anime kind of like settings and stuff like that. So this works, and I can save this actually. Again, save to my assets, and I have it saved into my cloud storage, ready to go. So for whatever reason, like if I want to make like an Angry Paul anime, I could just remove the background, and then like I can add visuals and stuff like that to make it funnier. But yeah, this is like the reason why I want to mess around with AI and stuff like that. So now I'm able to create this shit, and I did like a few clicks, and there you go. Rather than me messing around with like, I don't know, Photoshop or After Effects to get this image, right? And there's no way in hell I would have come up with this on the spot. Also, another thing about me is that like I like to work with what I got. I improvise, right? So since I got this from the AI tools, then I just improvise. I go with it, right? Rather than trying to find something exact, right? What I need. You gotta learn to like work with what you got. So yeah, that's basically what I did here, and I used Paul's face on this like Jinko whatever pants wearing motherfucker. So anyways, so that's one. Another thing I used was basically going back to the ribs here. See, like you are able to like remove the background on images using this AI tool, right? I'm gonna show you how I did that using this web browser, and that's a cool thing. All this is done through a web browser, so you don't have to download anything. You just have to pay your subscription. The way how it works is basically you log into, say, your Google account. At least in my case, that's what I did, right? Because I'm going through Google Chrome. Then you just, put your payment information here. So I want to like get ribs here to put in the pockets, to make it, to go to reference what Paul said about having red pants or whatever. So now again, there's a tools here, right, that you have. So the one you're gonna need here is the one that says remove background. I'm gonna click on that. Here's the image, right, of the ribs, and it has a white background, as you can see here. Now you are able to click and drag, and you can drop it here. Let me just duplicate this, make a copy. So we rename it, just say ribs test. Yeah, the reason why I'm doing this is because I already have like this image uploaded here, into my cloud storage. But I'm just gonna upload this guy as like a fresh image, so I can just click and drag. As you can see here, it's uploading, and that's right here, right? So now I'm able to click and drag. It's gonna analyze the image, and there you go. So now the cool thing about this web browser AI tool is that it does a really good job of like detecting what you want to like keep. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to like click on the image that you want to mask. So in this case, let's just say I want one rib and ignore the rest. I can just click once here. You leave it alone. You can see it's generating. And you can see here the green, and it did a good job. All you have to do is one click, right? You have like tools here where it says view. You can hit preview to give you an idea of what it looks like with the transparency. you have something called an overview. Basically, it just shows you the background, just so you know what you're selecting, right? So that way, like if you want to click, say like the ribs here, this one, you can click on it again, and now you have like 2 ribs selected, right? You are able to remove. You can hit over here, it says exclude, and say like, oh, I don't want this guy. And remove like the selection of like the rib here. So whatever's green is basically what's gonna be masked, is what you're gonna keep, and we want to keep this rib here, right? Let's just go to preview. So the cool thing is you also have a feather option here, right? So if you want to feather it out a bit, you're able to do that. There's a refine tools here. This is basically the brush size and all that crap. It does a good job, and that's what I did. Basically, I use this tool to like remove the background, right? Another thing I did, Paul made a joke about some backdoor action because we're fucking mature like that, and of course I had to find a Filipino man because stupid. I don't know. Oh, God damn it. Don't cancel me. I literally just like looked up like I don't know, a man looking back stock image on fucking and then Vato Marketplace, and that's what came up, right? And the fact that he's Asian has nothing to do with the fact that rich men go to the Philippines and do their thing. God damn it, I need to shut the fuck up at times. But anyways, so this is cool, right? Say like the ribs here. Now you're able to like export transparent backgrounds. Click on that, and then you can select what you want, a PNG, and then you export it. And when you export this, what happens is that it goes to your assets folder, right? When you do that, I mean, it may take a little while because it's still going through the internet, it's processing the other person, the company's computer or whatever, and then it'll appear here. So you have to give it a while before like you see it, right? And when I say a while, I'm literally talking about maybe less than a minute, right? It may seem like a long time if you want instant results, but actually the amount of work this shit does for you is really quick, right? So yeah, now if you click on this, I did the 3 ribs, but now you can download this. You save it to your folder, then you can work with it, right? And that's basically what I did, right? So just to give you an idea, let's just create a new image using this rib shit. And let's say if I wanted to select the ribs, and if I click this once, look at that. You see I'm using the wand tool, and like I just click once, and like it only clicks a specific color, which does a good job. But now if I want to select the background, see, it's not selecting like the shadows here. This is Photoshop, as you can tell. I can select that, and I can hold shift, select that. It doesn't do the good. Select that. You still have to get close to the fucking rib, and see, like, just time. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just saying, like, I'm showing you how faster it is for me to use, this guy. I did 1 click, like I showed you, and it basically is able to detect what I wanted to, like, mask out, which is the rib, and it did a really good job for me, right? Going back to the Filipino boyfriend guy. Here's the image, right? I uploaded it. So obviously I want to like just isolate this person, right? And like I just want his face and his part of his shirt. So I can literally click his face once. Let's see what happens. And let it work. And look at that. I did 1 click and I was able to like mask out his hair, his face, and his shirt. Now I got part of like the seat here, but again we can use the exclude tool. And then you can just click on that, and it does a good job to differentiate the seat to his shirt. A little bit more, no problem. Just click another keyframe there. And there you go, right? Now the same thing, I could just hit export this guy, I can select by PNG, then it goes into like our assets folder, and then basically, and there you go, right? So from here you can just download it, and like there you go, you're done, right? And it saves me a lot of time, right? So it is faster than using Photoshop for me. If you're a Photoshop pro, then that's probably nothing for you. But I mean, this thing is actually a massive help, right? And like I said, there's other tools that this thing has to offer, right? Along with creating an image for Paul's face, you're able to remove like the background, which is obviously helpful for me for certain things, right? And the other thing I want to end the video with is basically the upscale image. Sometimes when Paul is like showing a website and they have like some kind of like a chart with some information or a tweet or something, right? See this case. This is a chart that Paul was mentioning on one of like, it's talking about like TSM and GPU bullshit or whatever. But as you can see here, let me zoom in as much as I can. You see how blurry it is? Like the text is not as clear, right? It's not that crisp, right? Because, well, it's a very low resolution image, right? So that's something that I tend to deal with sometimes. And let me see here. And the same thing here, I was able to, Paul was mentioning about the Quadro cards. So if I zoom in here, as you can see here, it looks very pixelated, right? It's not as crisp because this is all I could find, right? Because it's an old card. Finding like a high resolution image is not that easy for me sometimes, right? Supposed to click and drag, say this guy into this. Here it is, and it's original image, right? You're able to have a pull down menu. You can upscale it to what you want. So in this case, let's just say 2K. I hit process. That's the original size. You can see here, right? It's pretty small. But now look at that. It's not perfect. I mean, if you look here, it looks pretty mushy or almost like it's painted. But if I toggle to the original, you can see how, you know, blurry it is. It's all pixelated as fuck, you know, it's not that crisp. But when you process it, everything's more smoothed out and stuff like that, right? So when I put it in Paul's timeline, I mean, I don't think people can really tell the difference, right? Because, you know, I put it over to like his over his shoulder, and like it looks good, right? It looks better than like the original image, which was all pixelated and like blurry as fuck, and it didn't look good, right? At least with like this, you know, processed image, it was able to like make everything a little bit more crisp, and it looks more higher resolution than it was, right? So yeah, this looks a lot better than that, right? And the final thing I want to like talk about is that this being AI, it does have some kind of like I guess safety features, and like this is one image I use in Paul's like tech news, which is like the scene from like Total Recall where like the guy's eyes starts to pop out, right? Paul made a joke about like Intel wants to gouge their eyes out, so I got this image, right? Because it's the first thing that popped in my head, right? Just to give people nightmares. But as you can see here, because it's an old movie, it's very pixelated, so I wanted to do the same thing in the sense of like drop it into like the this AI image upscaler, right? But see, look what happens if I click and drag this in here. This image may contain inappropriate content. Now, this is where I get kind of like iffy about this shit. I mean, I can understand because AI can be dangerous depending how you use it. So they want to make sure you're not using, you know, porn or any type of violent images, right? I kind of respect that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, fuck, dude, it's just a movie for fuck's sakes, right? But whatever. Something I did was this. If you open the image, you can rotate it upside down. You just rotate it, right? So now if I was to drop this image here, now it works. I don't know. I just wonder what happens if I flip the image or something like that and it's able to work, right? So now this is like the original input. See, it's very small, right? So now if I want, like, to do a 2K, process it, and there you go, right? And that's what I did. It doesn't look that great, but if I bring up the original, I'm sure you can kind of see the difference, right? If anything, this looks grosser, right? So, you know, see like the eyes and like the face, right? It's more, I don't know, it looks better. That's for fucking sure. Instead of this being all pixelated as fuck, right? So, I don't know. So that's how I start to use this tool, which is Runway. And I'll put a link in the descriptions or in the comment section. And this thing has been a massive help, and I'm actually happy to use this thing, right? And I'm excited to like mess around with this more and like see what else it can do. You know, you can do a lot of cool shit with it, and I'm definitely gonna be fucking around with this thing more, right? I definitely became part of my toolbox now. Yeah, that's my first video I did with Paul using this tool, the AI, right? Runway. And I'm very excited because it's cool. Pretty excited to see like how this thing can like improve down the line, because this website that I'm using, Runway, it's fairly new and they're still improving on it, right? So obviously this is only gonna get better. So for the way how I edit in my style, it only makes sense for me to be familiar with these tools, right? Because like as a content creator for the internet, where, you know, I need to get shit done usually as fast as a day, using this technology to my advantage is definitely a massive benefit and a time saver, right? As I just showed you how I use it just now, right? And this is me just starting with it, right? And like I can imagine it can only get better, or I can get better with it, understanding how to work with it better, right? So I can get better results, right? So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what I can do with it. But anyways, that's my video. If the video is helpful, here's some QR codes if you want to buy me a caffeine so I can wake up and make more videos for you. I really would appreciate it. Definitely, you know, hit the thumbs up. You know, if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. And like I said, I'm gonna be messing around with this website, you know, technology more, and I'll definitely be making more content related to AI down the line. So yeah, stick around for that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a bit. I really appreciate it, and take care and peace.